Hi guys, so today on the podcast we have Mr. Aditya Jothi, the co-founder of Kolapasi, a brand that has completely redefined a home style comfort food in Chennai, and has also expanded all the way to US and Australia. And I, by the way, recently had tried Kolapasi. The food is honestly amazing. It tastes just like home food. The portions are generous and it feels so light. It doesn't feel heavy at all afterwards. So in today's episode, we're going to discuss all about the restaurant business, what it takes to build a food brand, scale it across cities and even countries. Mr. Aditya has done it at a level very few entrepreneurs have. So let's go deep into the Kolapasi journey. Sit back and enjoy the conversation. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you so much for the time that you're trying to give with me, and wishing you the best as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. So you built one of Tamil Nadu's most loved food brands, Kolapasi. How did this journey begin?
Yeah. So Kolapasi was started by three people, three good best buddies. Or I can say like we are close friends. Myself, Aditya, and my co-founders Santosh Muruganandam and Padmanabhan. So all three of us are best buddies, and I know them through my college mate. She married. She got married to Santosh, and that's how I know Santosh. And Padmanabhan is a close childhood friend of Santosh Muruganathan. So that's how I knew both of them, and all three of us we started together, and the brand started in 2013, and Santosh was back from the US that point in time, and I was completing my MBA by then, and I'm looking for businesses to explore by that time, and that was the right time for both of us to see ourselves in the right pace. And when we got introduced to each other, we were able to see a lot of complementary strengths. So I'm more of a finance and operation background. He's more of a front end guy, and I was able to see a lot of complementing skills in both of us, and that triggered us to start some business. And we never chose food business, but we decided to do some business. We started writing a lot of business models together, and there used to be at least 8 to 9 months or even 1 year after he was back from the US, and I was back from office every day, and every night we used to sit and write a lot of business models. We still have all those ideas sitting behind, and we were literally trying to crack some business ideas right from the beginning. So what you see today, like Uber, Ola, or WhatsApp, laundry business, all these businesses are something that we wrote. So we can definitely say like someone who has created those businesses. We also thought about it before. So that's exactly what excited us when we started writing so many business models. And one thing that made us get into Kolapasi was every day when we tried to write these business models, we get hungry, right? We were literally hungry during the night, and that's when we both will start thinking about what to buy during the night. And that point in time, there was no online ordering, and Swiggy, Zomatos were not there at that point in time. So all that we had as an option was to get into the kitchen and start cooking. But we don't want to wake people up while they are sleeping, because any sound that comes out of the kitchen will wake up the moms. So we don't want to do that. So we literally wanted to go out, get some food. And when we got that food, that's when we started thinking there's a potential business problem where we're not getting good food when we want. And we started digging about what other problems people might have. Maybe a nuclear couple where husband and wife both go to work. So while coming back, the wife had to think about what to cook for dinner, and what to buy for the week. So that's a potential time that takes up for the wife to go get groceries and stuff, plan for the food and all that. So all this we're trying to trigger our minds on what can help such families to have a replacement for their weekly cooking.
Yeah.
Right. So because they don't want to buy from a hotel every single day, they won't want to buy from a restaurant every single day. Right. So they would want to have a simple food, comfort food coming from some place. So they didn't have that option. So they had to make by themselves. So what if they had that option?
Yeah.
That was the triggering business problem for us to see if we can solve it up.
Yeah.
So that point in time, right? So for us to start, we literally wanted to have a small joint which can sell comfort food as a replacement of their home food during the week, and probably Saturday, Sundays they can go to a good restaurant and have dinner. So that's the kind of thought process we had initially. And we started bringing that comfort food into a takeaway model. So that takeaway model, we tried to expand to at least 10 to 12 outlets in the first 3 to 4 years of business. And that model also gave us some potential problem, because it's the first business that we are learning from. So that gave us a little bit of learnings also. Maybe that is not really helpful for us to scale globally, right? We literally have to have a centralized kitchen and send food from one place to at least 10 outlets, and that has a labor intensive. That particular model is definitely labor intensive. You need to depend on a chef, and you need to depend on people to drive the outlets, and you need to depend on more people to drive the outlets. So you need a team, you need to have layers of management and all that. So all that is something that was triggering us, and from there we literally had to shift the model to a more decentralized model than from a centralized model. So this thought process came in during COVID, while we were running all the takeaway outlets in a very good manner. But COVID gave us that shot where, just like any other business, we also got impacted. And that's when we started thinking about how to handle such situations in the future. So that's a learning for us. So COVID is trying to impact us. So what if multiple COVIDs happen in the future? Are we going to keep crying the way we are crying today? Right? So if we can manage today, we can probably change to a different model, or probably like revise to a different model, and then start growing from there. So COVID gave us that answer of, during that COVID time, we were able to get that answer of going back to our factory and thinking about how to scale this business into a decentralized model and reducing the dependency on people. Right. So that's exactly where we cracked the chefless model. Right. So we were able to, create all the proprietary masalas, wet masalas into the kitchen. We were able to come out with a model where we send masalas from one place to a restaurant, and they can cook in a very simple manner, like a 2-step, 3-step process, just like how you cook Maggie at home, right? And that becomes easier for them to handle the business. So we were trying to come out of the centralized model to decentralized model, and the invention of, the wet masalas that we cracked in our factory, we were able to, have improvements in terms of getting the shelf life better with all packaging technologies that we can bring in, so that we don't have to refrigerate them, right? So that literally helped us to scale faster. So that's exactly when we started thinking about international business, because we have everything ready. Okay, so anywhere we can send the masalas. What if we can have 3 to 4 people to start a restaurant in Australia or in the US, and we can send these red masalas and someone can start there. So till that point in time, we were only thinking about India and how to expand here. But by the time we came into that chefless model, we were able to think, okay, now I think this particular brand is a global brand. We will definitely be able to scale things towards a global brand, and we were able to match to the vision that we had when we started.
So what was the turning point that made Kolapasi stand out from other restaurant brands in Chennai?
Yeah, so Kolapasi is not a typical restaurant type. So we literally wanted to see what best we could do in terms of solving a problem, both for a person who wants to start a restaurant and for a person who wants to walk into a restaurant as a customer,
Yeah.
right? Kolapasi is all about solving the potential problems of both customers as well as the business owners who want to start an outlet with Kolapasi,
Okay.
right? So what is that we literally want to solve? Now, if you want to start a food business, right? Uh, Thinking about it will make you get out, right? So you literally will get out within the first 5 minutes of thinking about starting a food business because you have literally too many problems to solve. You need to wake up in the morning, go get your groceries, vegetables, and then you need to think about who's going to make my food, how is he going to make, will that be consistent, right? And can I rely on him for a longer time?
Yeah.
Right? Can I rely on that person for a longer time? Because you're not going to be the person who is going to handle your product,
Yeah.
right? To get that product out of your kitchen, you definitely have to rely on a person who is so-called the chef or cook or master,
Yeah.
right? So if you're going to depend on him, your business is definitely not dependent on just you. You're going to depend on skillful people in addition to you for you to get your business successful. So my potential problem there is, so I till the end of my business, I literally have to depend on people.
Okay.
Right? I cannot get out of that mindset at all. So what if we can create a business without this skillful resources around me, where I can have very minimal resources who can manage the business based on the model I give.
Yeah.
So why do you think restaurants like KFC, Chipotle, McDonald's are able to scale faster? Because they are process driven and not people driven or product driven.
Yeah.
Yes, product is the most important factor for them. They are trying to get a unique product out of their business. That's definitely there. But what drives their business is the process more than the product.
Okay.
Right? So that's exactly what we learned as a system. So all the Indian restaurants are typically people driven and product driven. For any South Indian food or a North Indian food that you need to cook in your kitchen, it literally takes a lot of skill, a lot of resources, a lot of ingredients, right? So that is making the food complicated. Our Indian food is definitely complicated to make, right? That's exactly why people depend on chefs. It was if it was easy, every business owner would have started cooking their own food, right? So since Indian food is very complicated, people depend on an expert with their business to drive. So what we thought is how can I make that particular Indian food in a simplified way so that I can fit into the model of KFCs or Chipotle in the US or McDonald's who are very much process driven. They don't have a chef inside the restaurant, but they have people, little bit of skilled people and unskilled people who can manage the business. So how can I try to generate that model where I can completely run a business with very minimal skillful resources and scale from there? So that was the potential thing that we wanted to solve. And we were able to solve this by, I mean, moving all the skill-based work from a restaurant into a central warehouse or factory, right? Which is one factory in India, which can make all the wet masalas and send it to any country when they need it.
Okay.
So that made us to get all the skill needed inside a restaurant out of the restaurant, and the restaurant has to just do anything in a one-step or a two-step process and start selling.
Okay.
Right? That becomes easier for us. Yeah.
Okay. So the name Kolapasi itself is iconic. How did that come about?
Yeah, I think that goes to my close friend Sanchita and Santosh's wife. She was the one who suddenly gave this word out, and we had this movie, Dhanush movie, Kolaveri song going that point in time, and that song was going at peak with millions of viewers of that song when it got released, even before the movie got released. So that point in time, every one was listening to that song, and we happened to listen to that song on fine day, and when both my partner and his wife, when they were riding in a bike. They were listening to that song, and that's the point where we were all sitting together and writing so many names on what to choose as a brand name. And she suddenly sparked, like, you guys are thinking too much. Why not you have it as Kolapasi while Kolaveri is spitting? I mean, why not you have the word Kolapasi while this Kolaveri song is literally like reaching out to people so much? And that gave us a real spark, and we both decided to use that word as our brand name, and we stuck to that.
Okay. Nice. So what were the toughest challenges in the early days? Product, marketing, or scaling?
Um, it's a mix of all, right? Because we had limited resources to use, be it finance, be it resource, I mean, be it people, because we can't hire so many people to take care of everything. So we had to do, I mean, that's a potential problem of every entrepreneur when he starts a business, right? So any startup will not have enough resources in the initial days for them to use in abundance, right? So you might have to be a person who takes care of multiple things at a time, right? Santosh had to take care of marketing, while I had to take care of all the back end operations, because we were not just playing our strengths initially, because we had an extra load of handling one more vertical of the business. Whether we know or we don't know, we had very limited. I mean, we were very limited in terms of resources, so we had to take multiple things to handle, and that was a learning process for us also. Okay, so when I tried this marketing, this is where I'm going to. This is where I'm getting stuck, and I needed an expert from outside to help me on that day on how to get that problem solved. So that's exactly how we went. And any business just like us would definitely face a lot of challenges in the initial days, in terms of scaling. That point in time, the initial 3 to 4 years, the word scaling was more like how many outlets we can do in Chennai, the initial 4 years. So because we were not in a point to think international then, though we decided to go globally from day one, we literally had to solve the problem of, we literally had to solve all the potential problems, taking India as a, model space where we have at least enough resources to use wherever we can, and try to solve the problem within our space and then try to expand later. So out of that, marketing definitely was a challenge because we had less money to put in terms of marketing investment. We had very less resources to hire. We didn't have much resources. In fact, till date, I don't think we would have spent a penny in terms of marketing, because that point in time, though we wanted to, we had very less access to funds, because of, this was more of a bootstrapped outlet. When this was more of a bootstrap business, we just had to put in whatever money we had in hand when we started this business. So everything came by experience and learning on what next we can do, what challenges we can take. So when that resource was very less, when we had less money, the thought process was very different, where we had to see what we can do with what we have.
Okay.
So when you are in a limitation, you literally work more in solving a problem, because when you have abundant resources with you, you will pick whatever you have and start using it. What if you don't have those resources in hand? You will start working in a direction where, okay, this is what I have. This is the maximum that I can have. What can I do with this and get my sales better? So that's when we started, talking to people through social media, right? We just had one outlet in entire Chennai, but there was a day where we were able to get a call from the northern part of Chennai, right, to this outlet. We were able to get orders from the northern part of Chennai to this outlet, and we were getting orders from different parts of Chennai while we just had one outlet in Chennai. And all that happened is by talking through whatever platforms that was available to us. So we just tried to use the max of what we had in hand, like Facebook. That point in time, Instagram was not there. Facebook was new, and people were crazy about Facebook that point in time. So we tried to use the maximum out of that social media platform and talking to people. People were responding. right? So all that we see today, like Google My Business, or Zomato rating platforms or Swiggy rating platforms, all that were not there, right? So we literally had to talk to people in a way, and we were more of a takeaway out at that point in time. And marketing was definitely a challenge, and operation wise, getting the product consistent was the important question for us to solve. So we were asking ourselves, okay, today the biryani is tasting little different to what it was yesterday. So if this problem is going to continue, what if we have like 100 outlets in the future in India as well as abroad, and how are we going to solve this problem? So that kept triggering us on how to fix the consistency problem. If that's a potential problem of any restaurant. So you go to one restaurant, taste a particular product, and if that taste is different the next day, you start thinking about not getting into that outlet next time. Because you don't feel that consistency. So that is the potential problem of every restaurant owner. And if we did not, if we had not solved this problem, we wouldn't be talking to you today with 15 plus outlets abroad. Because if consistency is not there, so if you go to a KFC, right, wherever you go and eat, the fried chicken is the same, right? And that has to be the same with the typical Indian restaurants like me also, right? If that is not there, you will not be thinking about me as a scalable brand or a brand that's available everywhere. Oh man, that I ate at that point. The sambar rice was not good. The biryani was okay, but here it was good. I don't know why. That question will pull me down in not making you to come back again. Right. So we literally wanted to solve that consistency problem and ensure that every particular outlet can do a particular product in a two-step process, making it very easier for them. They can't make mistakes in any way, and the skill part of the outlet is removed, and the consistency part is completely taken care. So that potential problem solving, those problem. Okay, the time it took for us to solve all these problems, I can definitely say it's a minimum of 6 to 7 years. Right? That's when we started learning any business. For you to catch up or for you to get into a successful mode, it might take a minimum of 8 to 10 years for you to stand by, and you might have to give that time. Right? Few businesses are exceptional; they could have survived first 5 years. They would have, they would have survived for 5 years and they would have become successful after that. Definitely. But restaurants like us who literally wanted to be globally available, that scaling factor literally took us 8 to 9 years, and we had to give that time, never looking back, for us to ensure every problem that can happen within a restaurant or behind the production unit or whatnot. For all those to get solved, it takes a little bit of time, and that time was definitely a burning time for us. And that 8 years is not so easy to survive, right? Most businesses will get kicked off within the first year or even the first 3 years because they don't have that energy, time, and bandwidth or resources to survive beyond that. So anything that they have invested till that point in time goes as a waste, and they have to find, and anything that they have invested in the first couple of years goes as a waste if they move out and start moving on with the next set of businesses or whatnot, right? But we literally did not have any thought of looking back. We literally had, in spite of our worst scenarios, that we had nothing to do, right? Other than doing something on our own, we literally did not move out. We literally want to sit, crack the model, and see like what best we can give to stay in the business and fix this, because we were all saying like, though the business did not flourish, we were able to solve so many problems till now. If I go out, all that we have solved is going for a toss, right? So there's little more to solve. So every day the motivation was like, there's little more to solve. Let's put in our time and energy to get that solved, and that becomes a better day for us. We are able to get into a better day by solving that small problem for the day. So that's how it kept moving on, and you see what we are today.
So how do you balance being hyper local in identity and still appeal to a global audience?
So the moment we think global, right? So how do we see uh, a global restaurant chain in Chennai? right? Oh man, this KFC is like I'm a corporate model, right? I literally have to walk into a restaurant and I see like everything at the corporate standard, and I see like I'm able to adapt to that as a customer, right? So I'm like the once I get into a KFC, I don't expect them to serve my food on a banana leaf, right? So, but what we thought is the intention of Kolapasi was what was driving us in Kolapasi is like if a KFC can come and place so many outlets in India, why not our authentic South Indian food or North Indian food go to places outside of India? Because all of them, even outside of India, people accept Indian food like crazy. Right? They love Indian food because we have so many flavors, so many ingredients which give so many flavors, a lot of options available. Right? It's not like the Western food. You can probably like list the items in Western food and you will be able to count them easily. It won't go beyond 15 to 20, including your French fries, burgers, sandwiches. The flavors might change, but the standard is the core items are the same, right? And but it's not the same in Indian food. We have different states serving different types of food. So India is more like, so Indian food is more like you have different countries of food within the same country. Right? So Tamil Nadu will give, within Tamil Nadu also we'll have different regional food. Right? So if you go to Madurai, you get a different flavor of chicken. If you go to Coimbatore, you get a different flavor of chicken. In Chennai, you get a different flavor of fish curry. Right? So Indian food is more of state-wise you get a variation, you get different variety, and within the state, region-wise you get different variety, and this applies to every state. So we are more of, I mean, Indian food is more of, compared to US food, wherever you go, you get the same food, right? If it's a sandwich in North Carolina, it's a sandwich again in SFO, right? So that particular thing made us think like, because you have so many things from India, how can we take Indian food as many items as possible in a limited format and place it in a structure where US people are used to or Western people are used to, right? So they are used to a format of Chipotle, KFCs, McDonald's. So you walk into a restaurant, there'll be a counter in front of you, right? If you see all these models, it'll be like almost the same, right? There'll be a kitchen behind with machineries and whatnot, whatever you need to make that food, and there'll be a front counter where you go see the food in front of you, right? So that was the triggering point where, okay, these guys in any Western country, they are used to placing the food in a particular format, right? What if I'm able to give our South Indian food into a format where people are used to in the US or Australia, right? So that made us to get into a business model where you will be able to see varieties of Indian food into a well-known structure that is more adaptive to customers, right? So while we were doing that, we did not want to lose the authenticity of anything that we give from South India, right? So onions are different from India to US. You get more of white onions in the US. So when I make a sambar rice, which is a typical South Indian food in Chennai, right? When I try to make that sambar rice with white onions in the US, the taste completely differs. So what should I do to retain the exact taste of what I get in Chennai to make sure a US person is tasting what is exactly tasted in Chennai? So that's where our model of chefless getting these wet masala packets from a centralized kitchen where all the onions and tomatoes are from India, they are cooked here, right? And only the meat or any protein is from the other country, right? So all that you add to that masala packet is what in the local country there, but whatever goes as the base masala comes from India. That's exactly where we are able to retain the local taste from India while we sell the food anywhere else.
So, what principles guide your brand decisions like packaging, pricing, and communication style?
Principles in the sense, before we started, we were clear on being very responsible, being socially responsible. Responsible in the sense, like what best I can give to a customer, right? Certain things we don't like as a customer. Just because I'm starting a business, I don't want to overpower or overrule that within me. I don't want to. I still want to be a best customer of Kolapasi, even if I am the business owner of Kolapasi, right? So how do I do that? Okay, if I don't like to add colors in my food while I eat at home, and I should be the same otherwise also.
Yes.
So just because I become a business owner, I don't want to change that principle in me. So the principles of Kolapasi were driven this way, right? So no, be it no artificial colors, be it no artificial flavors, be it no MSG, monosodium glutamate, otherwise called as Ajinomoto. So all these principles came in, or even no preservatives or no added preservatives into the food to get a better shelf life. All these are typical things that we started learning from the industry while we entered, but we still wanted to be out of them as much as possible, and we till date we have ensured that these principles are strictly followed. And one thing that we always thought when we were starting was, we used to go to so many restaurants. The two things that were seen phenomenally. I mean, before we started Kolapasi, we were doing our trial runs everywhere. We were trying to learn from different restaurants. So when we were trying to learn from different restaurants, the two things that was very common, right? One is selling water, right? So like any restaurant that we walked in to taste the food, so even before the food came, the water bottle was on top of the table, your packaged drinking water was on top of the table, and the moment you use it, you pay for it. So which means there is no waiter who comes to you and sells it for you. So sometimes you drink by yourself and you end up paying for it. Sometimes the waiter comes to ask you whether you want tap water or bottled water. So the moment you hear the word tap water, you think you want to be better and you immediately ask for a bottled water. So these two cases, the water bottles inside a restaurant are sold so easily without even being marketed, right? So there's definitely some money that's coming out into the restaurant by selling water. So we thought, why should we do that? Our thought process was, water is something that's given by nature, right? And we don't want it to be felt like a commodity. So we literally don't want to make money by selling water. So we decided not to sell water. We started a campaign where we can probably share that thought process to others, where people can carry their own water bottles. So in olden days, your father or my father, when they were traveling by train, they used to carry a steel water bottle in their hand. So whenever the train stops in the station, they used to get down, fill the water in a tap, and get back to the train. So, and the moment we were able to see bottled water being sold everywhere, people started to stop bringing those bottles from home. They were not carrying their own water bottles for them to drink, because as customers we think water is available everywhere. Like we can even like pay 20 rupees and get that. So our thought process is, why should we actually like buy that water bottle everywhere? And we are indirectly creating a lot of issues to the environment by buying that water bottle, not just making it as a commodity. That's one thing. The second thing is, we used to we use a lot of plastic because of that water, right? There's a lot of plastic water bottles. It has to be again So the plastic content that we use because of the packaged drinking water is still high, and because of which we are all trying to disturb the environment in a way. So if we are trying to use our own water bottles, like something like this, which can be made of steel or whatnot, and you can use it every time again and again. So you come down on the plastic content in your daily life, which will help the environment also more. So how can we promote this particular idea that we thought, so that we can make many people socially responsible? We can make, I mean, that's something that we think as a purpose of being socially responsible. We want to be socially responsible, and we want our customers also to be socially responsible. So we wanted to keep talking to customers on this and try to see like how best we make them not buy water elsewhere also. And we ask them to fill their water bottles free of cost at any of our Kolapasi restaurants. We don't want them to buy water, or even someone who doesn't want to come and buy food from us, they can still fill their water bottles in our restaurants and leave. Right? That's still fine, because as long as we are helping them on not buying water, we are still good. Right? And that's exactly what we thought. And these are the principles that we kept intact right from day one till today, and try to see what best we can give back to customers, and what best we can give back to the environment, and what best we can give back to the nature who's helping us to do something. So that's where we are now.
If you had to define Kolapasi's brand DNA in 3 words, what would they be?
Okay, so if I have to relate 3 words to Kolapasi, so as a customer, I relate to 3 words. To the customer, related 3 words, which is see, taste, and order. Right? Beyond the principles that I mentioned before, we want the customer to be very sure of what he's going to eat. Right? Um, Customer comes into a restaurant. Usually what happens, customer gets into a restaurant, sees a menu card which has 240 to 250 items. Right? He gets confused. He would have had a thought that while he's entering the restaurant, he's going to have biryani, or he's going to have some roti naan with some curry. The moment he sees the menu card, he would go out of that decision and starts getting confused of what to eat. Usually this happens to many people. Right? So when we thought that way as customers, we were like, okay, as a customer, I have to choose an item within the menu card, which is very vast. There's at least like 240 to 50 items in the menu card, and I keep confusing myself. By the time I'm trying to choose in the menu card, the waiter is already near to my table, right, waiting for me to decide something, right, and I get embarrassed, and I end up choosing something that comes to my mind instantly, in spite of having a menu card in front of me, and I decide on that, and place an order to the waiter. He gets to the kitchen, places the order to the kitchen, and while I'm sitting on the table, I'll be thinking, when how is the and what is going to come out of the kitchen based on what I ordered. Okay, if I ordered for a biryani, is it going to be brown in color or orange in color? Right? Is it going to be very spicy or less spicy? Is it going to have more masala or less masala? Right? Am I going to get the chicken in a marinated way, or is it going to be very right? So all that questions come to my mind while I'm sitting and talking to my people at the table. So this is more of a decision making dilemma, right? So you're not able to precisely decide what you want. You're trying something when you're going to restaurant. So we literally want to cut down that dilemma where, so just think the other way around, right? You're walking into an ice cream parlor, right? You're seeing at least 30 to 40 varieties of ice cream, right? You are seeing all varieties of ice cream in front of you, and you are asking for a small pinch of any ice cream that you like, right? He's going to give you a small pinch of it. You're tasting it, and after you taste, you're deciding that ice cream whether you like it or not. Maybe you might taste 3 or 4 items out of the entire menu of items that he have and has, and so you're trying to taste 3 or 4 items, and after that, you decide one to have. So the moment you decide one and he gives you the cup, there's a very very less chance that you're going to regret your decision.
Yeah.
Because you have already filtered and confirmed that this is what I like. So that's exactly why when we go to an ice cream parlor, we never complain about the ice cream was not good.
Yeah.
Correct? Because you have filtered all the parameters of getting to the right decision. You saw the ice cream, you tasted it, and then you came to a decision that this is the one that I'm going to have today.
Yeah.
Right? So you don't have a choice to even complain to the ice cream parlor on the product or whatever he gave.
Yeah.
Right? So that exactly what we took into Kolapasi, where we literally want to have a concept called see, taste, and order, where you come, the food is available in front of you like a subway counter. Everything is available. One extra advantage beyond Subway or other brands that we have is you will be allowed to taste the food and then decide what you want.
Yeah.
You like a couple of items you can definitely taste and decide what you want. This enables you to be very right on what you want to eat.
Yeah.
Right, and you will not regret after that. This is exactly why we are able to maintain a 4.9 rating across all our US outlets. Yeah. Right, so it has been like almost 1.5 years since we started in the US, and every outlet till date is on a 4.9 rating. And the reason behind this is because people are able to taste the food and they can't complain much about the food.
Okay.
And they are very sure about what they are going to have. And there are very little chances for them to complain about the food because they've already tasted the food. Yeah.
Correct. So expanding a local Indian food brand into the US or Australia is a bold move. What made you confident it would work there?
I think this is because of my partner. Santosh stayed in the US for 8 years.
Okay.
So while he was staying there, he was able to see the potential problems of why an Indian restaurant is not able to scale in the US, because I am not exposed to, I was not exposed to US then. I was literally like studying here, working here, and all that. So when he came back, he was able to share that knowledge with me in terms of a US brand is always making so many restaurants. So there's always a chain of restaurants when it comes to a US brand, but the same is not happening in India. He was able to see the difference because he was able to. He went to the US just after college from here, so he did not see much businesses in India. He saw more of US businesses, and I saw more of Indian businesses. So when we were trying to talk about both things on the same table, he was able to bring a valid point where a US brand is able to scale really big because they get into the process and they are able to like replicate so fast. So they're able to increase the number of outlets on a monthly basis vigorously.
Okay.
Whereas when it comes to an Indian restaurant, if I have to add 1+1, I have started one outlet in the US, and if I have to do the second outlet, I have to do everything again.
Yeah.
So the chef in the first restaurant cannot do in the second restaurant. So I need to identify a second chef for me to add the second outlet. I need to identify the entire set of people. All the layers of employment in the first restaurant have to be replicated in the second. So it takes a lot of time for an Indian restaurant to replicate. That's exactly the problem. So this is where we try to solve on how much we can move away, as I said before, how much we can move away of depending on people, so that we'll be able to scale faster. How much we can get this model into a process-driven model. That's exactly where we were able to. And once we started doing that, we were trying to fit this model into a format where US people already knew. Like we try to learn from Chipotle, we try to learn from the bigger brands who are QSR brands in the US and Australia, right? And all that QSR models. From all that QSR models, we were able to see what is common among them that people are used to, right? We try to not get away from that while we try to introduce the South Indian flavors into that model.
Okay. Yeah. So, what were the challenges in setting up Kolapasi in countries like US and Australia?
Challenges in the sense we I mean, any country you get in, you will not be very sure about the compliance part or the legal aspects of
Yes.
it. And the first few months, it will be very difficult for you to identify vendors because you are new to the country and you will take some time for you to identify all that. But it's part and parcel of anyone who wants to expand globally,
Yes.
right? So you won't, it will not be I mean, a problem for you to live with forever. The initial days of that business will be completely new to you. It's almost like setting up a new restaurant in India, even though you have 10 plus branches in the country, right? When you move to a new country, it's more like you start a new business because the compliances, legal aspects are different to every country. There are a lot of, deviations from what you do in a specific country.
Yeah.
So from India to abroad, every particular country will take at least first 6 months to 1 year for us to set up all the processes, standards, getting into the compliance stuff, talking to legal people and what are on, and where Indian residences will run, right? So where Indian restaurants will run really good, identifying the potential locations. Because when you're new to that country, you so today if in Chennai, I'll be able to say, right, this particular area non-vegetarian food will really go well.
Yeah.
Right, this particular area non-vegetarian food will not go well, and this particular area QSRs will definitely like flourish. In this particular area, QSRs will really do well, but some areas you have to have a fine dining restaurants. So that kind of a demographic knowledge we can definitely say in a particular city or. But when it comes to a new country, it takes time for us to understand all that in every state and what are the formalities to get there and how to find a good location and all that. So that takes a little bit of time. Those were the initial set of challenges. And once we were able to get into a system where we have outsourced people to get all this work done, identifying the right people to get these things done, and it goes in a smoother way.
Okay. So, how did you adapt your menu and brand messaging for the audience abroad without losing authenticity?
Yeah. So, as I said before, we try to send all the proprietary masalas from India, by which any ingredient that goes into the masala is assured that it's from India. So, the original taste or consistency is definitely met in the model that we own in India.
Okay.
When it comes to a customer, we literally wanted them to feel we are from India. So, be it the interiors of the outlet, the principles, and whatnot, like we really wanted to show some value addition there in getting this. We literally wanted to show that value addition of not selling water, having no artificial colors there, which was indirectly, though it is our, though those are part and parcel of my principles. So those are the points what the brand delivers to customers, and that's exactly what customers. That's exactly what makes customers to come back again to us.
Okay.
Beyond the product that we sell. Okay. Right. So like these brand principles are what define Kolapasi anywhere in the world. Yeah.
So, what are the key factors someone should consider before expanding their businesses to another country?
Yeah. So before you want to start in some other country, you might first understand the customer perception in that country. It varies between country to country. So if it is US, people are used to having quick food.
Yeah.
So that's exactly why you see so many QSR brands, quick service restaurant brands in the US. But when it comes to countries like Australia, Europe, European countries, or even UK, people are used to sitting for long and eating. So when you go to Germany, when you go to Switzerland, yeah, you won't have as many QSR brands like in the US, but you will definitely have far more fine dining restaurants where people will be crowded in a lot of restaurants. And so when we see the difference, we're able to understand that the perception of customer changes country to country,
Yeah.
right? Um, so that's something that we need to keep in mind, where what is expected by a customer in a particular country.
Okay.
You might be a great QSR brand, but do you really fit into that particular country is what we need to question ourselves before we enter that country. What what is very accommodative in one country may not be accommodative in the other country in terms of the business model. So there might have to be a slight variation in the model depending on each country on what the customer is expecting. What is really adaptive to the customer. So that's one thing. And in terms of the product also, you can't keep doing the same thing in every country. Like if my biryani is medium spicy in the US, it doesn't mean that it has to be the same in Australia, right? Your basic products can all be the same, but there are some items that a country might expect that I need couple of spicy items in the menu in Australia, and European guys can come back and say, right, I don't need these spicy items inside the menu. They are not selling for me. So that kind of a 20% to 30% variations, though the basic menu is retained, the 30% variation might be expected in every country. So it doesn't have to be the same everywhere. I mean, this is very specific to Indian food. It may or may not apply to the Western food because they bring a standard product. For example, KFC, wherever you go, the KFC chicken is the same.
Yes.
The French fries is the same. Pepsi and Coke is the same. Iced tea is the same, right? So either we need to adapt to that model where we have 10 items, only 10 items, and that particular 10 items can adapt to any country.
Yeah.
I'll set the spice level that it will be applicable to any country across the world. That's one way of looking at it. The other way is if you still want to keep up certain items with authenticity, especially Indian food, we might have to have a 20 to 30% variation. So we might have to have the 20 to 30% of variation to make sure that every country is able to have those items in a very authentic way.
Okay. Yeah. So what's Kolapasi's approach to franchising, and what do you look for in a franchise partner?
Yeah. So currently, based on our experience in the US, we are currently with 4 outlets running in US, and 6 more are opening this year and the first half of next year. And what we see as learning to us is anyone who wants to start a franchisee or anyone who wants to start an outlet with Kolapasi, they literally have to be us in terms of building the business, right? There's always a conception that starting a franchisee, you don't have to do much. Everything is taken care. You just have to go to the outlet and promote. That's not so in many cases, right? You literally have to drive your business. A brand can give you everything. Like it can give you the interior setup. It can give you the ideation of how to place the food. It can give you the menu pricing. The brand can give you training to your employees. Everything can be taken care of, but the brand cannot run your business, right? So you might have to look for a prospect who wants to start a food business through a brand. They might have to be ready to work hard in the initial days of business, and if it needs in the later point of time also, right? That momentum, passion, and readiness to work hard is going to drive their business throughout their life. So that's something that's basically expected out of anyone who wants to start a food business through a brand, right? If that's not there, it's very, very hard for us to make them become successful.
Yeah.
Though we have all good things solved within the business, be it the food, product, people being trained or whatnot, everything can be solved because it's a replication for us.
Yes.
What I'm going to train you is the same that I'm going to train to a next prospect.
Yeah.
It's the same for me. But how you receive it, how you act upon it, how focused you are within your business makes a difference. If you are not much focused and the other guy is much focused in the same place, the business is going to be different, right? So those are the challenges that we try to fix with our own prospects, because we were also learners with them. They were in the initial days of business. Initial days of business in any country, there might be learnings on either side.
Yes.
Right? So any brand who steps into a particular country will also learn in the initial few days. Yeah. And any prospect who steps into the business as a new entrepreneur or as a new businessman will also learn through the brand.
Yeah.
So, and how much both of them can help each other, handhold each other in the initial days might give you good results. Yeah. In the coming days. So, as a prospect, we would expect them to first work hard, literally work hard, give anything it takes to the business, consider business as the first priority, and make sure they're very passionate about getting this business done. If they are not passionate, certain people will think like, okay, this business I'm just getting in because I need a secondary source of income. Yes, it's your secondary source of income, but that doesn't mean that you can give less weightage to the business. Yeah. That secondary source will be high only when you put in a lot of time and energy into it in the initial days. Yeah. So you might think you can focus on your priorities and parallelly build a secondary source by itself. It can't come by itself. You might have to give more time to it in the initial days, and slowly you can start stepping out little by little. Yeah. In the longer run, and it'll start giving you on its own. So the usual thought process is, I can start something, leave it there, and it will start giving. It won't give you. Yeah. It will definitely not give you, right? So it's more like giving a birth to the baby. You have given a birth. What if you leave the baby all alone just after birth, right? And allow the baby to grow by itself? Will the baby know which school to go, which college to go, what to learn, right? And all that foundation is something that you start hunting for the baby. The moment you give birth to the baby, right? You literally start hunting everything by yourself for that baby, right? So where should I live with this baby? Is it safe, right? If in case I'm traveling a lot, is my wife safe with the baby? To that level of detailing, you start thinking, because it's your baby, right? And that's the same process that we need to apply to any new business that we have started. Okay. You need to nurture your business. You need to give all that it takes for your business to be safe. You need to give all that it takes for your business to grow initially. And the moment your kid crosses college level, right, you're not worried about that kid, right? Okay, my kid has enough knowledge. My son has enough qualification now. So I think I'm good. He's going to take care of his own things by himself. All that is something that it will start triggering your mind. Till that point in time, you keep on giving to your child. Yeah. That's exactly the same that you need to think about your business also. Okay. Keep giving as much as it takes in the initial days. And the moment you see your business is starting to be independent, you can start stepping back. Until that time, there is no looking back. You might have to, because you have already taken that effort to bring that baby to the life, to your life, right? There's no looking back after that. Yes. Right? You might have to give all that it takes for the child to be on her own or on his own, and you can start stepping out from there.
Okay. So how does technology help you scale operations smoothly?
Yeah, definitely. Any technology that we have implemented, be it the packaging technology that we have implemented in our factory in India, or the technology that we have implemented to handle customers' loyalty programs, the point of sale systems, which can give all the important critical factors, or which can give all the critical factors for us to review conformment. All that is definitely helping us to improve month on month on every outlet, and even the back end part. And each one, every factor that we try to monitor and measure is enabled in our software systems, so that it'll literally like give us the right information month on month, and see like where we are going wrong, where we are going right, and what to copy to the new restaurants, what not to copy to the new restaurants that are coming up. So that's exactly where and we are still focusing on improving and adapting to all the technology changes. For example, we have already okay, we are already through with the R&D of an automatic machine which can make chicken fry on its own, right? So that's something that we have done with the new technology that we have gone through. So the machine name is called Chukamatic. So you just put that masala and chicken into it, and all the temperature controls are there in the machine by itself. So once you switch on the machine, it will switch off on its own once the chicken is done. Right, so we set up standards for that, and that's more of an automated machine. So the manual part in the manual usually in the manual way, we have to stand next to the vessel and keep you literally have to be next to the cooking range while you are cooking manually, right? So we don't want that to happen. So it actually like consumes a lot of time of the resource. Like we are having the restaurant. So what if I can probably like get the time out of the resource by having an automated machine which can make chicken fry on its own? So those are the kind of machines that we are bringing in. And in the future, we want to have robotic machines for us to automate the kitchen by itself. And how can the entire kitchen be handled by a single person, right? So if we have automated machines elsewhere, like we have robotic machines which can pick up the masala on its own, put it into a combi oven, cook the chicken fry, and take it out and place it on the counter. If that can be automated, there can be just one person in the entire kitchen who can just keep switching on the buttons needed for the different steps, and it will be easily automated, by which we'll be able to save a lot of labor cost, at the same time bring much more efficiency, because in any day we actually tell the machine what to do and the machine does exactly the same, right? Manual way will always have a 10% variation. So how can we try to ensure the model is still more foolproof by ensuring a machine does everything and it does the same everywhere?
So, what are three mistakes most first-time founders make in F&B businesses?
I think, this is a very hypothetical question, right? So, it depends on the perception of that entrepreneur. Um, when I'm a new entrepreneur getting into business, my thought process, the way I came from, will make me think what I should do according to that. For example, I come from an operational background, right? I come from a finance background. So my initial thought process as an entrepreneur is to make sure I should not lose money because I come from a financial background, right? And from an operational perspective, I always think I should be efficient inside the outlet, or my people should be very efficient inside the outlet. So these are the areas I'll be confined to. While my partner, my own co-founder, might think, how many people should I reach? Because he comes from a marketing and a sales background, right? So he will always think, how many people should I reach to, right? So how much money I need to spend on marketing, right? So he might have his thought process of spending more money in marketing, while I'm very tangible and seeing what is the budget I need to spend on marketing as a financial person. So these are the primary areas where we try to think towards what we know, but don't think much about what we don't know inside a business. So what I would rather think is understand from people outside of your business who have little bit grown better than you, who have understand from people who have better knowledge than you in terms of business, and see like what exactly you need to put in terms of time, money, and effort in every vertical. That makes a lot of sense rather than you trialing everything by yourself based on what you know. My operational strengths and financial strengths will make me decide on only for those areas. My partner's sales and marketing skills or entrepreneurial or evangelizing skills will make him take decisions in his view.
Yeah.
right? The moment these gets combined with external validation, your decisions will be much more better. So I might want to automate a chicken cutting process inside my kitchen,
Yeah.
and I want to spend 1 lakh of money for me to buy a machine. That's an operational mind.
Yeah.
While my partner's mind is to spend 50,000 in the front end to get more customers, right? So as an entrepreneur, as an initial entrepreneur or a new mover into a business, both of us might be right. But what it takes for us to get to the next step is the right decision. So what would be the real business decision? Should I spend that 1 lakh to get the kitchen automated, or should I put that 50,000 to get more customers? That's the right question to solve, right? And that's the right decision to take. And what decision you might have to take. So you might have to keep validating such days and take right decisions, not because you are good at something, rather what is right for the business that day. That will keep you growing faster. So these are the primary areas where we might go wrong.
Okay. So, what's your framework for taking risks? How do you know when to expand or when to consolidate?
Yeah. So the moment there could be decisions that might go wrong as well. Not that every decision you take is going to be right, right? In spite of decision making is more like validate yourself and your partner through many opportunities before you take the decision. Once you take the decision, there's no looking back. You have to work on it, right? And in spite of taking that decision with all validation, there could be a 1% chance that the decision did not go right, right? Just because the decision did not go right, we don't have to stick to it. Keep on and on and on. There could be an outlet which was chosen wrongly as a location,
Yeah.
right? As a system, as a team, we'll give the best to make sure that outlet is coming up. But there might be a day after 3 years or 4 years, right, that we have done so much, but this outlet did not come up, right? There might be a situation for us to let go of that and focus our stuff elsewhere.
Yeah.
That could be a scenario. There could be a situation where we took a decision of implementing a machinery inside the factory, but it's not giving much returns. Okay, I wanted to have a kitchen automated. I did this automatic machine inside my kitchen, but I don't see much orders coming throughout the year to use that machine to its full capacity, right? Just because I've got that machine, I should not keep putting that effort to get orders for that machine while I'm losing my time in all other critical areas of my business. So those are the risk taking factors where you still add more effort to safeguard your decision rather than take a better risk and work on it and get things better. So taking risk inside a business is like shifting gears in your car, right? When to accelerate, when to slow down, right? When to see the hurdles in the right way, whether to go to a road where there are more people walking and you can't drive faster, right? So all that is something that will come as part and parcel of risk. Where to spend what? Mostly risk comes with in attachment with finance, right? So whether I'm spending that money in the right areas. All I have is this much. How much of this should go to expansion? How much of this should go to building my processes? How much of this should go to building my team? Right? How much of this should I retain for me to be safe? If anything that comes up in the future as a hurdle, I'll be able to manage. So that kind of prompt decision making in terms of handling your financial risk is more needed. So that comes as budgeting. Usually that's part and parcel of your budgeting for the year. So you might have to take wise decisions in your budgets, and there might be a need for you to bring in external money through investors or loans if needed, and what is that risk that you are trying to share with your investor or lender, that's also there. Right, how much you can take that risk. If you're very sure about this is going to really work, it's worth taking that risk bigger, even if you have to give back 50% on that project to your investor. It's still fine because you're going to get back that one time, and your business is going to scale up faster. You're going to lose that money to him one time, it's still fine. So that's the way I would rather take that risk in a very bigger way if something is going to really work. And saying something is going to really work comes with an attachment of doing all the groundwork, doing everything accountable, doing everything. I mean, having a proper check on every single line of thought that you have to make sure you validate yourself before you take the decision.
So what's next for Kolapasi? Where do you see the brand in the next 5 years?
Yeah, Kolapasi is definitely going to be a 500 outlet brand in the US in the next 5 years. That's exactly what we have defined as a short-term goal. In the next 5 years, we literally want to focus on expanding in the US with a number of outlets. Because we have fixed the model, we have fixed the scalability factors. We are building the team towards getting those outlets running quickly, and I mean the turnaround for every outlet to go live is the turnaround time of every outlet to go live is coming down as we grow. So we are able to see more outlets opening every month, and that's exactly where I'm able to see that 500 plus outlets coming up in the next 5 years, and we want to definitely create a $1 billion company in the long term.
Okay. If you could go back to day one of Kolapasi, what would you do differently?
Um, what comes to mind instantly when I hear this question is I should have built certain systems in the upfront, and everyone in business, they learn by experience. They don't have much time to think about systems in the initial systems and doing all the processes right, getting all things documented. All that is something that people ignore in the initial days of business because they don't have time to do this, but they are mostly involved in doing the grunt work on getting things operational. They have less people to handle everything, so they choose to ignore the important ones, but do the grunt work that is needed for the day, right? And if I have to go back to day one of Kolapasi, I would definitely build systems in place before even I start expanding, which will make me aggressive to grow. It'll the brand would have grown much more aggressively than what we are today if we had that systems in place from the beginning, right? So we literally understood what is needed for a global brand to scale faster. So that's something that we have implemented in the recent past, probably the last 3-4 years. But if we had done that before, we would have definitely been faster than what we are today. Yeah. So that process oriented stuff or the systems and whatever needs to be value added at every single verticals, that needs to be given priority in the initial days for. And that's the most skipped. I mean, this is one area where most people don't think of in the initial days. That's not even in the thought process radar, right? People ignore it because they are mostly occupied in the grunt activities of their business. That's something that we need to unlearn from. We literally have to spend more time in building a process, and how much a process can control your business than you taking control of the day. That's where the initial days of the business should be. That's something that I have learned it very hard, and we should definitely implement across every business.
Okay. In one line, what does success mean to you now?
Success has different definitions and different phases of life. So if you had asked me this question when I started my business, I would have said, bluntly said, I should have been a successful entrepreneur, like building a great business. But if you ask me now, I'm going to say like success is more like how much I can build a business faster, involving myself 100%, and at a point it will run by itself without me in the room.
Yeah.
Right? So how much that can be done? That's one way of looking success for me. The other way is how much I'm adaptive to the business as the business changes phase by phase.
Yeah.
So the external market conditions might change my business. I can't keep saying what I told you 10 years back.
Yeah.
I might have to chase the next wave of my business. I have to adapt to the upcoming trends in my business. Right? How much I'm able to adapt, how much I'm able to think for the next wave, how much I have chased for the next wave of my business. That's where I feel my success. Okay. While most of the competitors are thinking about what is there as a problem today, if I'm able to think much more than what I need, what I'm going to face in the future of my business, in the near future of my business, if I'm able to solve those problems today, that's where I see my success. And what if I'm able to build a business for three things? One is to create impact for others. How much valuable my business is for someone to use it in their life, right? That's creating impact. The second thing is how many opportunities that I'm developing within my system while I'm creating a business decision, while I'm taking a business decision for the future, right? If I'm going to create a new vertical in my business, is it going to create more opportunities for many people to be in my business? That's exactly where I feel success is. Okay, I'm creating impact, I'm creating opportunities for many people while I'm generating more business models within me, right? And the third important thing is how much socially responsible I am, in spite of making money out of the businesses like that.
Yeah.
How efficient I am in my socially responsible principles. How I'm able to give more value back to the nature or environment or to the economy while I'm trying to build my empire. That's where success lies.
Oh, so finally, what advice would you give to entrepreneurs trying to build a global brand out of India?
To be a very good entrepreneur, you literally have to solve a potential problem, right? Solving a problem is more important to starting a business. These are two different things. You can start a business that's existing in the market, but how much you're going to sustain is in your hands. You might be successful, you may or may not be successful. Right? Both cases are there. But if you solve a problem that's very unique, that no one has done so far, that indirectly becomes your business, and no one will touch that because you have already solved it. Right? Taking something from someone's solution, someone would have solved a business problem. Copying from it might make you stay in the business or might push you outside the business. Right? If you yourself solve a potential business problem in any industry, that becomes your business. You just have to keep adding value to improve that business, but the original point of solving a problem is going to get retained throughout the life of your business. So rather solve a problem, and for you to expand from that solution, find all validations possible. Don't get excited about having everything in your business. Tomorrow, your scalability factors will come and question you back. Yeah. That, oh, you have so much. All of these may not be helpful for me to scale this to the next level or take it outside of India. For them to be, if you really want to be a global brand, think at first that what filtrations I need to do. Every business decision that I make should accommodate that point that you're going to be global. should definitely accommodate that point that you're going to be global in the future. Right? Do not take a decision for local and then apply it towards being global. It's not going to help you. So any small decisions, you might have to sacrifice a lot when you think you want to be a global brand, right? That sacrifice is more in terms of product, more in terms of process, cutting down the process, like not being people driven. All that factors come to the mind when I try to think I'm going to be global. You might not be global at that point in time, but every decision you make has to accompany the factor that you're going to be.
Yeah. Okay. That's it, sir. Thank you so much
so
for doing this
Thanks a lot
podcast.
for your time,
Yeah.
and I'm happy to talk to you. Wishing you the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.